on the screen is not children appropriate.
Are you hiding your screen? Yes, I am. Well, what do you think our children feel like in the library?
Ma'am, you'll get a chance if you want to come up here, and you'll keep your mouth shut until you come up here. Ma'am, second warning. Third warning, we'll have you removed.
My time began before I was speaking. Can we restart that, please? Thank you. You guys opened the meeting with a prayer to God, yet govern like you don't answer to God. You've been elected by people in this room, yet you sit idly by like you don't answer to us at all. The sexually explicit, pornographic, and self-harming how-to books in the children's section of our public libraries, now 2 locations, is far beyond sex education. Obscenity is not protected free speech, and making obscene or harmful material available to minors is a crime under both federal and state laws. It's clear you don't understand the Constitution and have misinterpreted what freedom is. John Adams said our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It's wholly inadequate to govern any other. Porn is not protected by the First Amendment. Allowing kids to access information that harms them is not a basic right. In fact, it's illegal in every other sphere. The very same content handed to a child outside of the library walls would be a felony for the person handing it to them, and rightfully so. Our library, this is one of 65 books I have at my house. Our library is basically a porn hub. Own it. A distributor of porn to minors at this point, and you are enabling it. When you ask the library where the porn section is for adults, they're quick to say, oh, one doesn't exist. But y'all have a pretty well curated one for the kids. Even our public schools require parents to opt their children in or out of sex ed and get community input when choosing curriculum. Facebook removes, reports, flags, and censors images of these very books when we post them online. But the library defends the kids need access to this content. The books you are condoning are harmful to our children and include how-to instructions on, out of these books from the new Braunfels Library, cutting, self-harm, sticking a screwdriver in an outlet, standing in front of an oncoming train, starving yourself, prostitution, bullying, selling or trading sex for things. In the children's section, sex in public places, quote, gross, painful, scary, bloody, degrading sex, end quote, trying BDSM on pain pills, accessing and watching porn, imagining and acting out dangerous sexual fantasies, how to put objects in their anus to properly avoid a hospital trip, masturbating in front of other children, cutting off healthy body parts, sex change resources, encourages sending nude pictures to strangers and meeting up with those online strangers for what's called tricks or sex, locating and accessing bathhouses, underground sex clubs, and dungeons and lairs, child-adult sexual relationships, same-sex incest for cousins, and copious amounts of boy-on-boy, girl-on-girl, and trans-sex demonstrations. Publishers, authors, and disclaimers have released themselves from liability and any adverse effects of harm or injury that result from children applying the information in these books y'all condone. The trauma is scientifically proven for children who are exposed to explicit content while their brains are still developing, resulting in sexual trauma, sexually abusing others, severe drug addictions, compulsive sexual behavior, suicide, and more. Due to lack of action, mayor, city council, city manager, city secretary, library board, and library staff, y'all have made it abundantly clear that you do not care if our kids are victims of the dangerous attack on our children's mental health, sexual health, and have continued to subject them to this harmful content. Rather, you appear to be in favor of it unless you act. Mayor, you walked back a campaign promise from April 18th. I have you on video during a mayoral candidate debate guaranteeing the removal of inappropriate books, claiming... You said, I had no idea these were here. That's inappropriate. I'm going to get with the city manager. 4 months later in July, you sit here, sir, and say it's not your job to pick, pull, or put books on the library shelf. But I have news for you. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's in the bylaws. And the fact that anybody would come up and argue that these books are appropriate for children in defending them, it's disturbing, harmful, concerning, shocking, and appalling. We want the American Library Association, we want out of that. And I'm calling for the removal of our city manager and ask for a replacement that has moral dignity. This is encouraging children to stick objects in their buttholes. It says it's an erogenous zone for touching and penetrating. This suggests masturbating in front of people in public. This talks about going in front of an oncoming train and sticking a screwdriver in an outlet. You think I'm making this stuff up? I've got receipts. This talks about you can buy, sell, or trade sex for things. You don't have to do it in private. Sick, gross, painful, scary. There's no legitimate moral, spiritual, or physical reason you shouldn't have great sex if that's what you want in the children's section. And they're grooming children for that content in the early readers and juvenile as well, so that by the time they get to that point, they're used to it. This is a problem, and New Braunfels has to change it. Quit acting like it's not your problem. We elected y'all to represent us. And silence. I know I'm out of time. I know. And I appreciate the support from the people that are here today. Silence in the face of evil is evil itself. Dietrich Bonhoeffer said that.